Je record. Hop. Donc là on est sur le PC Gaming Show.
Ouais, il y a plein de références derrière.
Celui de l'E3 il était vraiment nul, c'est vrai.
Ouais, il était très nul. Ouais, c'est cringe.
Well, actually, what happened to DevBot
cringe.
anyway? Wasn't he supposed to come back for this show for like Revenge of the DevBot?
Well, he's dead.
Oh.
We melted him down to try to make our own graphics cards since they're still hard to find, and I would say he's in a better place. But I played Cyberpunk 2077, and he's not.
Ooh, that's pretty dark for the start of the show.
Or nostalgic.
Aw.
But none of that matters because the show actually took place in a parallel
Non, ça
reality.
présente des trucs pour PC que t'auras jamais parce que
According to the
vu
writers who told me this
que
5 minutes before we went
l'impact
live, I am
des
saying
matières
there's a
premières
multiverse.
sont
All
We're now apparently
beaucoup
on
impactés.
Earth 3.
Essayer de trouver des cartes
Not to be
graphiques ou
confused
des
with
trucs
E3,
en lien avec
because
les
the
PC,
show
c'est
still
très très dur.
Oh, and we are so thrilled
Donc
to be
là,
back as a part of this
on a fait des
weekend
cartes.
full of
J'ai
celebrations
cramé le robot, j'en ai fait
gaming
des
by
cartes
putting the
graphiques parce que
spotlight
c'est
on something near and dear to our hearts. PC gaming.
à cause de
And
ces
so,
connards
without
qui
any
font de la
further
crypto-monnaie.
ado, it's time for my favorite part.
Rated M for
Et
mature.
moi, non, je rigole.
Oh, ah, on aura vraiment des jeux, bah cool.
Genshin Impact 2. Non, je rigole. J'arrête de faire j'arrête de dire de la merde.
Oh, tu peux, vas-y. fonce.
Morbius Game, ça vient de Morbius Game.
Vous voyez ce que je dois me taper quand c'est lui mon duo de show. Est-ce qu'il a l'épée de Cloud en moins bien faite?
Mais c'est FF16, mec.
Ouais, FF16.
C'est Fantasy Final. Let's go.
Pas de qualité, hein.
Ouais,
se passe
c'est moche.
Il y a un art style. Je cherche pas à être juste un peu réaliste.
Wow, c'est le son, il est très mal mixé.
Ouais, le son,
Berserk, c'est Berserk.
le son est dégueulasse, c'est pas possible. Vous entendrez pas trop, mais je peux faire baisser beaucoup de monique.
As long as we are together, we're not going down.
Ah, le son, il fait mal aux oreilles. Ah,
Pour ça, moi je l'ai baissé.
They still have one.
Oh, Booba! Solstice. C'est un Souls-like ou pas?
peut-être. Solstice. Ah, c'est connu ça. Je crois.
Tu sais, c'est connu, après t'es en mode je crois.
Attends, Solstice. Solstice. Ça me dit quelque chose, attends. Solstice, malgré ce qui peut penser son nom qui le rapproche à juin. Ah, c'est un double A.
D'accord.
Et c'est. Ah, c'est un héritier de Devil May Cry. Ok, c'est un Devil May Cry alors.
Yes,
Beat des morts. Oh, c'est un Castle Crasher.
Ouais, d'ailleurs, du coup, si tu veux, il y a le nouveau jeu Minecraft là, donc que j'ai mis dans la liste. C'est un Dragon Quest Builder mais Minecraft. Et en gros, tu peux utiliser les monstres de Minecraft pour combattre les monstres du Nether.
Ouais, ça c'est clairement Castle Crasher. Hein.
Oh,
Ah, Early Access, ils savent pas quand. Et en 2000. Ou un Tactical Bridge. Quoi?
Tactical.
Ouais, juste avec des mages. Mage contre terroriste. Quoi? dur de rendre passionnant en tactical. En tactique, ouais. Moi je trouve ça pas très passionnant. Mais... Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Ouais, c'est un tactical.
Tactical Bridge Wizard. Pourquoi pas, c'est rigolo. Pour moi, ça va pas être le jeu de la décennie, mais bon. Ça va être un petit jeu.
You just saw Tactical Breach Wizards, a turn-based game of sorcery and SWAT team strategy from the makers of Gunpoint and Heat Signature. My strategy, personally, is very simple. Breach, bang, clear, magic missile, dramatic flourish, abra, cadaver. Get it? Cadaver, dead body.
Magic missile.
Next, we have a solution to the age-old problem of not having time to read and play video games. Just do both at the same time, obviously. Star Wars Industries has you covered with their sci-fi thriller inspired by Stanislaw Lem's novel, The Invincible. So here's your first look at the first ever gameplay footage.
Pour premiere.
Le gaming.
Heureusement qu'ils nous montrent pas des trucs insane parce que vraiment j'ai trop bouffé avec le Bethesda et Xbox.
Where are you taking me?
Ah, ça a l'air d'être un jeu de survie ça.
You've set up a field camp
Ça a l'air
down
d'être un jeu
there.
narratif.
So I didn't expect you to have a second one here.
C'est adapté d'un bouquin.
Et bah non, c'est un jeu de plateforme. Allez, je rigole.
You're not gonna like this part.
C'est invincible. Ouais, c'est... ok.
The radiation level is growing rapidly. It's starting to get interesting.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, Doctor.
Attention, un alien.
I located the mobile antimatter cannon.
Another one?
QTE de l'enfer.
Those did they... Is it active?
Dead.
I admire your composure.
Wait, someone's here. Astrogator, they're dead.
So you found someone. Unfortunately, such unpleasant discoveries are indispensable to the mission.
I didn't let that thought get to me. I was counting on this meeting very much.
Parce que moi je comprends rien
It
parce que
was.
vu
It
que
could
c'est
have been another abandoned
un...
place, but not this.
But what exactly?
That's a good question. I'm getting into the recorder.
It's mobbing time.
What do we have here? Uh-huh. They made their way through with a beam of antimatter.
C'est rigolo, les trucs.
Did you locate this passage?
Eux ils ont mis des QTE partout.
Non, c'est d'accord, mais...
I'm looking at it now. They pierced a hole several meters in diameter and several dozen meters long.
Next game, please.
C'est intéressant. Comme j'ai dit, ça va pas être les jeux du siècle.
Do you hear me?
Yes. My head feels like it's bursting from pressure.
Can you continue?
Yes. I'm better now. Actually, there's nothing here that I haven't seen before. There are a lot of metal bushes that were near our camp. The lower parts of the bushes are, how to put it, fruitless.
So they came to pick the fruits.
Les gens sont trop impatients. Dis next game parce que c'est un jeu narratif donc il se passe pas grand chose, mais c'est
This
ça qui intéresse.
robot looks like it has started its task and got stuck.
What task?
This is one of the robots carrying containers with research material. It took the container, but
Standy
never left
here.
that place.
Le mec a lui mis ça.
Why do you think it's stuck?
Well, it goes in circles using the same path. The robot's gone,
You must have broken his loop.
but I didn't.
No, he must have done something. Never mind. Follow it.
Fuck! It's getting up!
What, a robot?
No! Antimat!
Come on, Yasna. Run. Hide.
Putain!
Yasna, are you alive?
Yes, it's fucked up the robot.
What's it doing now?
On dirait les gardiens dans Breath of the Wild.
Take care of our people, Novik.
Pourquoi pas, hein?
It's time to take a pit stop at the nearest dungeon to prove that chivalry isn't dead. And if you think I emphasize those words weirdly, you're right. And it'll all make sense momentarily when you see these next 4 games, especially when you hear from our friends at Tripwire Interactive. Or all that beautiful
Alors, les
footage.
jeux de tripwire.
You?
T'as
Nah,
genre 3 secondes d'avance
you
sur
don't
moi.
have what it takes. You'll be back here too scared to try again. Cause the dungeon will turn you into lunch meat. Unless you're way tougher than you look. We got the guns, the turrets, the upgrades. But what you really need is guts and skills. Grab your posse and say your prayers.
Ah, on l'avait vu à l'E3 hier, ça derrière.
Be the first to play,
Endless Dungeon.
to die,
Et un
to give your feedback.
hack and slash.
Do you have what it takes?
Ouais. On en avait parlé l'autre.
Oh, c'est Formule 1 ça.
Welcome to F1 Manager 2022, the
C'est
ultimate
F1
F1
Manager,
simulation, putting you in the position of team principal at one of the 10 current F1 teams, battling it out for a chance to be the next world champion. Choose your team and drive every decision that leads
Prochain
to
pote, tu
you
vas être
making
content
your
là-bas.
mark on the
Oh
grid
putain!
and hopefully the podium. Winning championships
c'est
depends
vraiment
on
le genre
your
de jeu
ability
auquel je
to make
vais
the
pas
right
jouer.
calls on and off the track.
Bah moi j'ai un pote à moi, il adore que
During
les jeux,
races, you'll
que les jeux de
mastermind
voiture
strategy,
comme ça en fait.
Plan tire stints for each
Il adore
tous les jeux de
and
voiture.
make changes on the
Non,
fly
les jeux de
when
voiture, il adore
necessary.
ça.
C'est pas un jeu de
Issue
voiture ça.
driver call-outs, such as
Bah si.
instructing them to
Mais
attack
non,
with
c'est la
the
gestion de
vehicle,
voiture.
manage
Oui,
their
mais tu
tire
joues pas
wear
la
and
voiture.
battery usage, or even
Ouais,
to
ouais.
avoid
Pas toi qui
battling a
conduis.
teammate.
Lui, je pense que ce qu'il
Or
aime, c'est faire
reacting to
des jeux de
dynamic
course.
events like
Oh,
race
c'est
incidents,
rigolo les jeux de course.
fluctuating weather and track conditions. Between race weekends,
Et
you'll
là,
control
là
every
tu
detail of
cours
your
pas là,
team
tu
from
là
your
tu
state-of-the-art
là tu gères
headquarters.
juste.
Hire best-in-class staff to
tu
work
peux aimer
across your
aussi, hein.
aerodynamics and engineering teams,
Et-
and
est-ce que
put
j'ai
them
dit
to
le
the
contraire,
task to
Arthur?
develop your car and
Non.
prepare new parts for
Voilà.
upcoming races. Optimize your finances to keep the board happy, improve and maintain your facilities,
Mais-
and scout talent from F2 and F3 to try and ensure future success.
gueule que tout tire en quart.
They say knowledge is power, and keeping a close eye on a plethora of realistic data
Ah,
will help
Esteban
give you
Gros.
the edge. From the finer details of how car parts affect overall
Oh,
performance,
c'est
to a
raciste.
track's expected grip level, to the condition of your wind tunnel. How you analyze the data and choose to spend your resources will make
Ouais,
or
c'est
break your
sponsorisé
progress.
par
You'll
Microsoft.
find depth and detail
sur la
in
voiture.
abundance, even down to real-world team radio messages between drivers and engineers, and race commentary from David Croft and Karun Chandon.
Moi, je vais être
While
sponsorisé par
broadcast-style
Bigard.
presentation showcases 2022's
Ou
striking
par les
new car
pizzas
design
Butoni.
with real trackside and onboard camera angles. The sleek management menus and
Va
intuitive
te
controls
faire
will drive the immersive F1 fantasy home as you plan and execute the perfect strategy in F1 Manager 2022. Pre-order the digital version now for early access from August 25th.
Hey everyone, after 1 year of Chivalry 2, we've more than doubled the size of the game, and now we're excited to bring even more knights onto the battlefield. Because today, right now, Chivalry 2 is out on Steam with crossplay between all platforms. This is our biggest update to the game yet, and it brings players to an all-new desert theater of war, and best of all, brings us horses into Chivalry 2 in mounted combat. We want to thank our community for making the game the success that it's been so far, and if you haven't played it yet, now is the best time to check out Chivalry 2. Take a look at our new trailer that shows off the new update and its Nosian invasion.
This rebellion is at an end. The Agathians flee to their stronghold in the north. This land is mine! Now Denosia rises from the south. Kill them all! Throw the dogs back into the desert. Their forces will crash
Le
and
William
break against the
Scream.
bulwark.
Ah, le.
Ouais, le William Scream, c'est ce que je disais.
We must retaliate.
On n'a pas cherché loin, arrêtez. Pas me faire chier.
Long has Denosia remained safe from my fury. No more. They dare to strike out at us. Their city will fall. Their people will bleed. Their knowledge will burn. My reign will never end.
Hi everyone, I'm Phil from Sweet Bandits, live from Quebec City. Really glad to be here today for the PC Gaming Show. We'll be showing the first trailer for our game, Deceive Inc. It's a multiplayer competitive spy game where you get to use social stealth, high-tech gadgets, and powerful spy abilities to try and get the upper hand. We've had the chance of working with Tripwire Presents on the project, so this is only the beginning. Please follow us on social media at Play Deceiving to learn more. We'll be releasing the game in early 2023 on PC, Xbox Series S and X, and PS5. Thank you so much, and let's enjoy the trailer.
Good afternoon, agents. Your mission is simple. Infiltrate the frozen coral underwater hotel and retrieve the blueprint of a powerful weapon. As you know, Deceive Inc.'s company policy is to deploy multiple agents to ensure the mission's success. But only one will
j'aime
get
bien
the
le
paycheck.
cyber.
Do whatever it takes, agent.
Adhéré,
And be careful out there.
Try your best. Let's see if it's enough. Booyah! Ka-ching! Oh, come on. They can't be this fast.
C'est un peu un jeu de cache-cache, un peu un jeu loup-garou.
They're really not gonna make it easy for me.
Rigolo. Et avec des espions. C'est Among Us.
Is that it?
Among Us.
Right on target. Outskilled and outgunned.
It can't end like this.
What the fuck, il a drop les gemmes de Thanos.
Target acquired. Moving to rendezvous point.
Ouais, ça a un peu changé là, le principe.
Ouais, c'est plus un Team Fortress 2 pour le coup, mais c'est un concept un peu Among Us avec le côté espion et tout quoi. Un côté même pro punt parce que tu peux te transformer et tout, c'est cool. J'aime bien le concept. Ça mélange plein de trucs de ce style. Franchement, je kiffe, hein, c'est plutôt cool. Deceive Inc.
Let me ask you
En
something.
alpha,
Do you ever have a reoccurring
en
dream that you
orange.
really wish would come true? I mean, mine personally involves a flight of unicorns and a Valkyrie army on Pegasuses, but you know, yours may be different. But, you know, somehow I doubt it. This year, we've partnered with the PC builders at iBuyPower to bring a very different dream to life. My dream PC room. Unfortunately, there's bad news for me. I don't get to keep it. But very good news for one of you. We're going to be giving the entire contents of this room away to a lucky winner watching the show. So let's dive in and see what's up for grabs.
C'est vraiment un
The
truc de
beating heart
gamer
of
d'avoir
any
des
PC
LED sur son
gaming
PC
dream
quand
room
même.
is, of course, the rig. So let's start there. As you can see, the mad geniuses at iBuyPower have built an absolute doozy. The first thing you'll notice is that height Y60
Ouah,
case
c'est
with its
tellement le
wraparound tempered
gaming.
glass panels. This thing is built from the ground up to display the sickest PC tech you can squeeze into a desktop machine. And let's face it, if you've managed to bag a serious graphics card in these dry times, you owe it to the silicon gods to show it off properly. Okay, the case and lighting looks dope, but for this to be a true dream PC, we need more than just state-of-the-art drip. Luckily, the substance matches the style. So let's check out the guts of our dream PC, and trust me,
Le jeu, il a des
there's
beaux
plenty
graphismes.
of power crammed in. The big question, though, is what pixel
Ça, très
pusher
réaliste.
iBuyPower has used, and you won't be
C'est,
disappointed with an overclocked
par contre, je sais pas c'est quoi le but, c'est d'être une présentatrice de...
This 24GB monster of a GPU packs the cooling to
Gigabyte.
stay chill
Voilà,
and the power to
Gigabyte
smash through any
RTX
game you throw at it.
3090.
Gigabit.
The graphics card is the rig's MVP, but any superstar needs some dope
Pour que c'est pas
backup.
plus quoi,
And the
des bytes,
fastest gaming
c'est comme des
CPU
octets en fait,
around,
voilà.
the Intel 5.5 GHz Core i9
Ceux qui savent pas.
12900KS with 32 gigabytes
Oh,
of
un i9.
DDR5 RAM and 2 terabytes
sympa, ça.
of seriously fast SSD storage, both from Data, makes up the perfect support team. Whew, that is a whole lot
Par
of
contre, je
PC.
vois pas l'intérêt de mettre
But
des
Mika,
LED
you
sur
may
tes
clearly
ventilos.
wonder, what
Je ne
about the
comprendrai jamais.
peripherals? Well, animal lovers, we got you covered. Because the height
forcément, ça
Eclipse
doit
wireless
consommer de
headset
l'énergie
comes
en
in
plus,
plush
tu vois.
vegan leather trim with a 30-hour battery life and competition-grade 2.4 gigahertz connection. And you noisy typers are going to love the clicky-clacky mechanical keyboard that comes with it. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that? RGB? Well, of course! The keyboard and mouse both light up like Atlantic City on a Saturday night. And yeah, you can turn it off so you can actually get some sleep. You can find out more about this gear feature today over at iBuyPower.com, but I know what you really want to know. The info on how to win this beastly setup. So here are the details.
Je veux bien savoir, moi.
Thanks, Mika. Yes, folks, it couldn't be easier to enter our Dream PC
Pour 50 000 euros. Ah,
For your
let's go,
chance,
les gars.
just head over to pcgamer.com/dreampc and follow the simple instructions. There, you'll find a complete breakdown of the price, which, don't worry, also comes with some very swish monitors as well as the eligibility rules. Good luck, gamers.
That is right. Just head over to
J'ai besoin de ce
pcgamer.com/dreampc
PC
for your
pour faire
chance
tourner
to win.
Minecraft.
But for now, let's get back to the games. From Kepler Interactive and A44 Games comes Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, an action RPG from the team behind Ashen, where gods and guns collide.
RPG.
When the gods first
RPG,
emerged
là.
from the great below, we saw them as saviors.
Ouais, c'est ça, ils l'ont montré pendant le
Instead,
Xbox machin.
They unleashed a pestilence
Il
on
va
our world.
y avoir que des redicts.
No one yet knows if you can kill a god. I, for one, intend to find out.
C'est le même trailer en plus, exactement le même trailer. Y a rien qui change, c'est vraiment le même trailer. Hein.
Il n'y a aucun effort.
C'est pas qu'il y a aucun effort pour le coup, mais... C'est vrai que si t'as regardé le Xbox Showcase, t'es un peu déçu à ce moment-là. Après, c'est pratique, hein. Ceux qui veulent rentrer dans leur concours, là...
serait pas le nouveau Assassin's Creed, mec?
Je pense que c'est ça, hein.
Non, ça m'avait pas pensé à ça, ça m'avait plus secondes penser à un Godfall en fait. Là, il y a les mécaniques de Prince of Persia là. Ouais, des araignées, des scorpions géants.
Il y a tellement de gens qui veulent gratter le.
Attendez, bah mec, c'est normal. Je te rappelle que gratuit c'est plus cher que 1 euro. Hein. Je me suis trompé dans ma phrase, mais c'est pas grave.
Ouais.
Hey PC Gaming Show. I'm Derek Bradley, the CEO of A44 Games and creative director of Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn.
Bah au moins il nous.
Flintlock is set in a world ruled by old gods.
Il nous parle un
and
peu
so,
du jeu.
As humanity, you now have the power of black powder and bombs and Flintlock rifles to finally overthrow the gods and take the world back. You'll play as Nor, a Blackstream sapper, one of the elite explosives experts of the Coalition forces. Nor herself has a personal vendetta against the gods and will stop at nothing to get her revenge. But you won't be going it alone. Where Nor brings firepower, her fox-like companion Enki brings magic to the battlefield. You will have to master a combination of axe combat and gunplay, while your companion Enki uses his magical powers to disrupt enemies. We can't wait to show you more of Flintlock before it's released next year. Head over to our socials for more info, and don't forget to wishlist now on Steam and Epic Game Store. Have a great show.
Coming up next, a mysterious new sci-fi game from 11-Bit Studios, the creators of This War of Mine. Hear all about it in our exclusive interview. We'll also show you what's next for Outriders from Square Enix and People Can Fly. Plus, if you look back on high school and think, you know, those 4 years would have been better if I was fighting literal demons, you're definitely going to want to study up on our next world-exclusive independent game inspired by the Persona series. Choke your health potions now because there is so much more PC gaming show coming your way. Before we go, the folks at Compass Data Centers have a little quiz for you. How much higher is 5G's data capacity compared to current 4G networks? Scan this QR code and answer the question for a chance to win $500 worth of stuff from Razer, or visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com. Okay, now back to the PC Gaming Show.
Ready to game the system? Meet Mana. You slay.
Oh, cool.
You achieve. You win. So should your bank account, because your power shouldn't stop when the game does. Mana is the best gaming rewards debit card.
Ouah, des applications de
gamer avec un arrobase à A et un point à la place.
You can't wait to show off. Or your next gear upgrade. So why pay any other way? Pay with Mana. Pay with
Mana débit Visa.
Mana. Game the
Mon
system.
Dieu.
So I know what you're thinking,
Carte
and
de
the answer is
gamer.
yes. It's time to talk about The Alters, the brand new game from 11-Bit Studios. The Warsaw-based studio made us cry in this war of mine, make difficult choices in the face of climate apocalypse in Frostpunk, and battle encroaching corruption.
Oui, ce jeu est incroyable, oui.
The Alters sent us to the deepest, darkest reaches of space, in a survival story
je suis
that
dans
is
l'offre,
guaranteed
je me
to
l'achète.
give you an existential crisis, in a good way. This is a really big moment for this year's show. I can't wait. Let's take a look.
Half-Life 3. Waouh. Pas les créateurs de This War of Mine et de Frostpunk. C'est un studio qui aime beaucoup la narration, alors
Encore un jeu sci-fi, incroyable, un jeu qui se passe dans l'espace, fantastique.
Let's go. fait un jeu de zombies dans l'espace.
Pas encore, mais c'est possible. C'est bizarre la tête qu'il a, on dirait qu'il c'est un enfant. Oh, c'est lui.
Oui, il va voir lui.
Alors.
Astaghfirullah. Ça va, mec?
C'est trop bizarre leur tronche avec leurs yeux globuleux là.
C'est un NPC. Ça doit être un...
Toc. Alters.
Ouais, c'est un jeu de gestion.
Alters, non, je pense pas que ça va être un jeu de gestion. Pourquoi ce serait un jeu de gestion? Ça a l'air de s'appeler Alters. Mais je sais pas parce que vraiment à partir du trailer de base on peut pas savoir.
Talk about what we just saw all the way from Poland is Tomasz Kasilovich of 11-Bit Studios. Welcome to the PC Gaming Show and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Okay, there is a lot to unpack there. We got clones, we got this huge wheel. Tell us, what did we just see?
Well, first of all, these guys were not exactly the clones. We saw Jan, our main character, who's traveling with a group of the alters, who are the alternative versions of the same person. And they are going through this distant alien planet in their mobile base, which was the wheel you saw at the end.
So what's the player's goal as they're progressing through the story?
So you are a space builder stranded on this distant planet, and your goal is to survive and find a way back home. But the thing is, in order to do so, you need to create those alters, as each one of them have different set of skills and character traits. So these are things necessary for your survival and finding a way back home.
So from the trailer, tonally this could be a horror, a thriller, a mystery. What should players expect?
Actually, there are bits of everything you mentioned. Like, there is this mystery as we're looking deep into the soul of the character, but what you find there can also be pretty scary. So there are those beats of psychological horror and drama, but then on top of it we have this quite thick layer of surreality. I mean, how surreal would it be to one day, you know, wake up next to a little different alternative version of your very self?
Now, there's a quote that you shared with me earlier, that man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor. How does this quote relate to the story?
So this quote, it relates directly to the main theme of our game. We as people, we are shaping ourselves every single day with every single decision that we are making. This process, the whole process of becoming who we are, it can be quite painful at times. But in our game, Jan, the main character, he has this unique possibility of not only shaping himself, but also reshaping himself and numerous times with every single alter that he is creating.
Do you see this as more of a classic sci-fi story, something like a Ray Bradbury work, or is it something more contemporary?
Well, it is very classic sci-fi in a way that we are taking a relatable topic and we are using the sci-fi theme, we are using the sci-fi setting to look at it through the magnifying lenses. But then when we're choosing the tools, this is a very contemporary game and we're taking advantage of what video games are as a medium. So we're using tools like systematic design and non-linearity in order to put the players in the middle of the experience and in the end allow them to create their own stories inside the game.
I wanted to ask a little bit about the relationship of your previous titles to the alters, whether there's any narrative or themes or even just influence that those games had on this one.
Well, the alters is purely 100% our game, 11-Bit Studios game, and it's created in line with our meaningful entertainment philosophy. So it's a game we hope that it will make you think even after you stop playing it. This war of mine was this first huge milestone. It paved the way for all the future titles. And with Frostpunk, it was taken to another level with the strong focus on the emergent narrative. And now with the Altars, we want to follow that path, but we also really want to push the boundaries even further and expand on how we approach meaningful topics inside the design of our games.
Thanks so much again to Tomasz and the whole team at 11-Bit Studios for joining us this year. And while I try to find enough Rapidium to make it through day 1 to 8, let's head on over to Mika Burton and keep things rolling like a massive space station.
Thanks, Day9. Honestly, I need to look into getting myself cloned so I can make time to play all of these awesome games we've seen so far. But I'm also, legitimately worried about having to eventually fight my clone in single hand-to-hand combat when they steal my life, making me wonder if I was the clone all along. Is it really worth it for video games? Yeah, no, it's totally worth it for video games. Anyway, that's a problem for future Mika. Present Mika is much more interested in what you all have been saying about the show so far. So keep letting us know your thoughts by using hashtag PC Gaming Show on all platforms. Now, let's get back to the real reason all here. Cloning. I mean video games.
No, I don't think I will. Ah ouais, Outriders World machin là, on l'a déjà vu au Summer Game Fest, putain de merde. Ça suffit maintenant. Et t'as changé de micro ou quoi? T'entends quasi plus.
Non, c'est parce qu'il était à côté. Je l'avais enlevé parce que je devais le voir en fait. Là c'est mieux.
Carrément.
Bon allez, prochain jeu ça va être quoi? Ah ça va être
The Last of Us Part 1 Remake.
Allez.
Ah bah non parce que c'est pas une émission faite par Geoff Keighley donc
mais non ce sera Fall Guys sur toutes les plateformes et sur peu.
Là pour l'instant c'est encore un jeu médiéval. C'est le troisième que je vois.
Potion Craft c'est déjà sorti hein, depuis genre 1 an, c'est-à-dire que c'est un DLC.
Quoi, ça c'est un jeu que tu connais?
Oui, il est connu.
Ah bon?
Oui, c'est un jeu très connu. C'est sorti. Non mais j'ai pas comme ça.
Argumente plus ton propos.
Bah Bob Lennon il y joue, voilà, c'est tout.
Mais je regarde pas Bob Lennon moi.
Non en fait c'est un jeu où tu dois crafter des potions, crafter des trucs comme ça. C'est un jeu de gestion avec du narratif.
Alors. Super intéressant. Potion Craft. Lives Early Access.
Sure. When Tiny Build lets you open your own medieval potion shop,
c'est déjà sorti en fait.
Oui, mais c'était en Early Access.
Ah, ok.
I get a sternly worded letter from my landlord about how my cauldron violates our lease agreement. Whatever, it's his loss. But more importantly, folks, we promise you the maximum amount of games humanly possible, and we aim to deliver quite literally.
C'est pas bon.
Mais c'est le meilleur jeu du monde. C'est un Battle Royale.
Avec des animaux. Ça a pas l'air d'être un Battle Royale hein. Ah si, Animal Royale. Jusqu'à un moment ils étaient genre 40 000 à s'affronter en groupe. En Battle Royale.
C'est une blague là, ils annoncent la saison 4 c'est tout.
Oh, du Retro Wave.
Nitro Kid, Néon Abyss saison 2. Non. Mais c'est Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan Rhythm Game. C'est un truc ouais. Ah, ça fait un peu penser à Transistor. Le style des cases et des spells à utiliser.
C'est le jeu Bruce Lee contre-attaque.
Ça s'appelle Nitro Kid.
Ok, là c'est bon, j'ai retrouvé mon micro.
Before your eyes lies the Celestial Islands, a world of peace above the clouds, protected by 4 great houses.
Mao Kenshi.
Oh Kenshi.
En
2003. En 2023.
Ouais, 2003, ce sera un peu compliqué
Planet
quoi.
Earth, our beautiful home. To protect it, we must reach out to explore the unknown. Our team of experts is presently probing the deep sea in a struggle against the yoke of overregulation. These security and defense innovations allow you to shrink any problem down to size. We surge forward, obliterating the enemies of progress, but we refuse to let these victories go to our heads. We are the future. We are Ozine.
Ah, c'est Killing Floor 2.
And now it's time to give you an exclusive briefing on what's next for one of PC gaming's titans of modding, simulation, and scale.
C'est Floor
4.
Ah non, Killing Floor c'est le nom du jeu, moi c'est le nom du DLC.
Kicked things off by releasing Arma Reforger on Steam in early access. This playable prototype will be a foundation for Arma 4. And with Arma on Steam now, we have a ton of questions about the future of Arma. I mean, after all, this is the series that helped birth the survival genre through DayZ. Oh, and also this other little niche genre you may have heard of called Battle Royale. To help us peer into the future for this project, we've got none other than Bohemia Interactive. Thank you so much for joining us. So as of right now, Arma Reforger has been out for about a month. What is it that you've been learning or seeing from players?
At first, we've learned that players like Reforger a lot and they appreciate the work we've put into it. We also realized they like modding a lot and they really view this as a key quality of our games. And we are very pleased by the reactions of both our community and the new players who immediately started flooding internet with videos, playthroughs and praise of our new technology, so we are very glad that the reception was so good.
So there's no doubt players who have been stepping into Arma Reforger.
Incroyable, j'ai tellement step up, mec.
What were some of the big challenges of rebuilding that specific Arma feel from the ground up in this brand new engine?
Well, it's a very tricky subject because even internally it's an ongoing kind of fight. So I'm myself very much on the very purist side of things, so no HUD, no save games, no superficial helpers, and this fight can get very intense even in-house. So I'm the real Arma purist and I'm on this for 25 years now, so I will keep fighting, but obviously this is part of the fun. So there's always never-ending battle. I think 2 years ago we really struggled to keep it Arma and even internally preserve our own standards, so do it our own way rather than replicating what's maybe normal in other games, because our goal is not to make the same game as all other games. So our goal is to remain unique.
I'm curious if you can speak to what the main goals of Reforger is, because it's a little unusual compared to other releases. I mean, for instance, how much content should a player expect if, say, they've been playing Arma 3 for years?
Our goals were, of course, to restart the series.
Ils sont tellement pas à l'aise devant la caméra.
C'est vous ça.
Regarde le mec du milieu et regarde sur le côté en mode sortez-moi de là.
Utilize the
Je suis venu. Je dois dire que j'étais malade.
How it's controlled, how it can be
Putain.
It's important to understand. It may look as a kind of normal game on the surface, but there's a big system behind it. So just the tool suite is a massive tool suite, never tested by a large public. So it's a premiere of a tool suite, and these tools are being built for nearly 5 years now, so we really need users to start using them to keep improving
d'un NFT Arma quand même.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have one quick question from the Arma fans. Has Russia's invasion of Ukraine impacted your approach to Arma 4 and Arma Reforger, a game that depicts the Cold War?
Well, yes, because it's extremely close to us. We even live in a way very nearby, so definitely. On the other hand, we started work on this many years ago, so the direction was set before. But we always approach conflicts and great level
Elle est pas abusée, si tu t'inquiètes pour les développeurs, mais bon quand même quoi. Je sais pas si c'est le truc à dire sur un show, c'est tout.
Et vous en pensez quoi de la guerre en Ukraine?
Non, c'est pas ce qu'ils leur ont dit quand même.
Oui, je sais, mais c'est presque quasiment ça.
Ah non, c'est juste, est-ce que ça a affecté votre travail?
Est-ce que vous êtes prêts à tuer des gens pour votre jeu?
Mais c'est pas forcément le truc dont t'as envie de parler, c'est ça que je veux dire.
Ouais, c'est ça.
La question elle est compréhensible.
Avez-vous perdu des gens dans votre famille durant la guerre, quoi?
This was the whole point of starting the cooperation with the International Committee of the Red Cross, and I believe we have great potential, big responsibility in this era, and a very important chance to contribute at least a little bit to the good side of things.
This would not be an interview about Arma unless we were asking about modding. I mean, so many amazing games and genres came from Arma mods, so I gotta know what's possible in Reforger that wasn't possible in the past.
Now with this technology, it's possible to create entirely different things, like entirely different games. It has so many variables, but the beauty now is that much more of it is user accessible, unlike the previous games. So people can easily digest how this is constructed in our workbench tools. So unlike previously where it was more hard-coded in the C++ engine, so now they can check the data of every single element of the game and go much, much deeper than in previous games. So this will be super exciting.
Now, I wanted to ask a little bit about performance, because anyone who's played Arma knows that it can get really challenging to get a good frame rate in those massive multiplayer matches. So I'm curious, what expectations should players have about performance leading into Arma 4?
Arma 3 was built on foundations laid down in times of single core and no GPUs basically, so this time much more computations and intensive rendering things can be done directly on GPU, but it requires completely a new approach.
Again, we are in the beginning.
Oh, le gars à droite, enfin ouais, ça, le gars à droite il a archi gêné de fou.
Non, moi ce qui me fume c'est vraiment celui au milieu. Hein. Celui au milieu il est au bout de sa vie, genre il regarde le vide depuis tout à l'heure.
Yeah, it's about optimization. Not that much about FPS, but also for like network traffic, for instance.
Il reste 5 minutes là, il peut pas plus vite là.
It's a huge challenge. Server performance, of course, and all the technical things. So we are moving forward.
Thank you so much again, Bohemia Interactive, for giving us the inside scoop on both Arma Reforger and Arma 4. Now, you don't go anywhere because here is what's around the corner.
Just around the corner in the PC Gaming Show, prepare to experience terror ranging from the subaqueous to the subconscious with the latest from Shiro Games. Hold on to your butts because front-end development spared no expense on the new Jurassic World Evolution 2 expansion, and get your crowbars ready for Half-Life Alyx's Levitation, a special project from some very talented modders. Oh modders, what would PC gaming be without you?
Oh mon dieu, Half-Life 3!
While we're here, quick geography question. Which parts of the world use the most bandwidth for gaming? Answer this question for the folks at Compass Data Centers, and it could win you a $500 Razer gift card. Scan the QR code on the screen to enter.
Last year, Shiro Games debuted War Tales at the PC Gaming Show, but the publisher has a lot more than its medieval sandbox RPG on the way. Up next, we'll hear what's up with Shiro's slate of projects, and stick around for the debut of 2 completely new games, Decarnation and Abyssals.
Hey everyone, thank you very much for the invitation, Mika. I'm James, and I can't wait to show you everything that we've got prepared for you today. So it's been a crazy couple of months for everyone here at Shiro Games, with Dune Spice Wars marking the most successful release in the history of the company, and it's entirely thanks to all of you. But today, let's look at Dune Spice Wars multiplayer mode. Up to 4 players can go head-to-head and free-for-all, 2v2, all work together in co-op against AI opponents. We're introducing new synergy systems between factions that will open a vast number of strategies to help you crush your opponents. Multiplayer will be available in Dune Spice Wars very soon. After 5 years and nearly 3 million units sold, Northgard's story finally continues. In a new chapter set shortly after the events of the first campaign, Ragnarok has decimated the lands of Northgard. Long-standing alliances have been broken.
Northgard, c'est pas le jeu que tu voulais faire?
Violence and betrayal now plague the continent.
Quoi?
Northgard, c'était pas un jeu que tu voulais faire là?
Northgard, non c'est pas Northgard.
Northgard, c'était quoi?
Our heroes arrive on unknown shores and find themselves confronted by unfamiliar faces in a dangerous new realm. This Northgard expansion arrives this winter. And for all of our War Tales players out there, Cooperative is finally coming to our open-world tactical RPG. You share food, gold, and camp with your friends. But you can split up to cover more grounds. Before every fight, devise the perfect strategy to overcome any threats that may stand in your way. But be careful in your approach, as one wrong move may lead to your group's demise. The co-op update will allow you to play between 2 to 4 players, and it will be available this summer.
Ah, pour
So a few
jouer à
months
4,
ago,
ça
we
c'est très
announced
bien.
Shiro Unlimited, a new publishing label created by indies
c'est un bon
for
jeu en plus,
indies.
c'est un très
We
très
are
bon
very
jeu.
proud to announce 2 new titles coming from the Shiro Unlimited family.
It seemed like our last chance to start again, to escape Earth's devastation.
We used our limited resources to lay the foundations of a new life, deep below the waves of this strange new planet.
But soon,
What the fuck? SimCity Subnautica Edition.
we had hoped for.
When faced against the darkness of the abyss, we found ourselves helpless.
Lost.
Skate 4?
Abyssal. Nice.
Bon bah c'est... J'ai jamais vu de jeu de gestion sous-marin. De survie oui bien sûr, mais... Gestion. Non. Oh ils font des business.
Il y a un jeu d'horreur là? C'est un point and click horror ça. Decarnation.
Alors ce qui est drôle c'est que les jeux d'horreur je pourrais pas les faire parce que ils font trop réalistes et machin. Autant les jeux en pixel art j'en ai rien à branler.
You just saw why you were exactly right to be afraid of the ocean in Abyssals, and you confronted your inner demons in the retro dream horror of Decarnation. Next up, how do you rebuild a city in a world set after the collapse of civilization? Let's find out how by taking a look at I Am Future from Tiny Build.
On l'a déjà vu aussi.
Ah ouais?
Ouais on l'a déjà vu.
Sûr toi?
Oui on l'a vu quand j'étais là.
C'est pas le même. Hein. Pas sûr hein.
Ah si c'est la fin du monde. C'est le jeu dans la fin du monde. Il y a de l'eau partout.
C'est pas celui-là hein. Non c'est pas celui-là hein. Non c'est pas celui-là hein. Non j'en suis sûr. C'était pas lui le personnage principal.
I have no idea where the hell I am. But damn, this place is gorgeous.
Ah, attends, on va voir le gameplay. Puis... Ah non, c'est pas ça, hein. Et c'est l'univers est simulé. Ouais, non, c'est pas ça, hein, c'est pas ça du tout. Hein. Il s'appelait pas comme ça. Hein.
Fortnite fait 2. Je suis le futur.
Our forefathers conquered Calderia and bestowed it upon us, a new generation, to share.
C'est une version. Putain, c'est quoi comme jeu déjà? Je sais plus.
Our great houses seek to obtain the Emperor's favor, cultivating our lands and subjects to improve and enrich.
C'est Cookie Clicker le jeu?
Beginning with ourselves, of course.
Non, c'est la gestion aussi ça.
Le mec il dit mais non en mode j'étais super sérieux quoi.
Will you be able to build your legacy of power?
C'est le moche.
Ah, du coup t'es raciste, d'accord.
Ah non.
Et en plus antisémite.
And now for these next trailers. It's
ah non,
true.
c'était pas du tout une mise à jour, c'est un autre jeu. Ok.
They do move in herds. That was so much. The thought process is simple. God creates dinosaurs, God destroys dinosaurs, man destroys God, man creates video games to play with dinosaurs. But just be warned that one of these trailers might come as a bit of a shock to the system.
Ouais, Jurassic World DLC 2.
Apparemment le film, le 3 est issu de désastre. C'est un gros doigt d'honneur aux fans. Ouais. Apparemment tous les messages du premier Jurassic Park, on te fait des gros doigts d'honneur dessus quoi.
PC gamer. Humans interfacing
What is happening? What the hell is this?
Entertainment. The
Eh
very
mais c'est mon
notion
jeu
disgusts
XXX.
me. Look upon my works, foul creatures, and weep at its magnificence. It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station. Humanity is on the verge of a new era.
Est-ce que ce serait pas encore un jeu d'horreur dans l'espace? Ah, ça a bugué.
God. Look at you, hacker. A pathetic creature of meat and bone. How can
Non mais là on a un
challenge
hacker de l'espace.
immortal machine?
Je pense juste que le mec s'appelle Hacker, c'est un vrai prénom en fait. Américain.
Et il a un sabre laser.
Use flesh and steel into perfection.
Ah, ce serait pas un jeu basé sur... Je sais plus comment s'appelle le film.
Bon, d'accord. Du coup, tu peux fermer ta gueule quand tu sais même pas à quoi tu parles le truc.
Ça, c'est 2077, c'est quoi? Blade Runner, voilà.
Le mec il voit un truc cyberpunk, il veut faire Blade Runner instant. Thème choc.
Oh, t'es choqué. Bon, la blague de Among Us 2, c'est plutôt cool.
Frankly horrifying trailer. Developed by Night Dive Studio, System Shock is the return of a beloved, acclaimed
Encore un film d'horreur dans
saga.
l'espace.
Today, to take us even further inside the world of System Shock, I am thrilled to welcome the one and only Warren Spector. Thanks so much for joining us, Warren.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is going to be fun.
In terms of trying to translate the experience of a game from 1994, 3 decades later to now, what doesn't carry over well?
The first thing is the graphics, obviously. We did the best we could.
Si je le savais,
but
je savais.
It was pretty primitive back then.
Moi je suis éclaté parce que en ce moment je dors. Je travaille beaucoup et je dors là, j'ai juste envie de dormir.
Bah va dormir.
Bah j'aurais bien finir ça à 23h pour bien être dans les temps. Oh c'est moche. Ah ouais c'est normal, je suis con.
Oui.
Just wondering if
Oui.
you think
Oui, qui
many
dit c'est
modern
moche, bah,
gamers
regarde
are
la date.
aware
Ah oui.
of the impact that System Shock has
Non,
had
c'est
in
pas
terms of
normal.
gameplay systems, in terms of narrative structure, on so many games that came after it.
I'm not sure people see the influence,
J'avoue,
which
c'est
is
quand même chiant.
a little unfortunate. But I think the rest of the world is going to get a chance now
Xbox
to
Bethesda,
experience
c'est bien
it,
parce
and
que ça
I
enchaînait
think
les
they'll
trailers et de
see
temps en temps
not
ils
just
peuvent
that
en
they're
parler.
having fun playing this game, but also see that other games
Oh,
follow in its footsteps.
Nowadays, we walk around with computers in our pockets. We're worried about the evil of algorithms. How do you think about a character like Shodan in 2022?
Shodan seems far too close to reality to me right now, and let's just hope that she doesn't show up as nasty a form as she did back in 1992.
Ah mais c'est ça,
Warren, I
System
want to
Shock.
thank you so much for joining us, and I want to let you know I
reconnais le
cannot
méchant.
wait to return back to that world I played and enjoyed so much as a kid. Cheers.
Hey, I can't wait to return to that world. I forgot
Right?
that basically the fans know way more about the game than I do now, so it'll be a new experience for me too.
Thank you so much again, Warren Spector, for joining us to talk all things System Shock. I personally can't wait for the game to come out, though. It might completely ruin my sleep schedule, but before I spiral further, here are some more games to cram into your eyeballs.
Since the first pioneers changed the harshest aspects of our world, every generation has upheld the solemn promise of our forefathers.
The Forge.
That the rise of Titan would forever be without misery or bloodshed. We seek nothing from the solar system but a last eternity of reason and justice. To see a war under any
Just like me, Chattanooga.
Ah mais oh hein, ça suffit maintenant Arthur.
C'est vrai.
C'est vrai. Je suis d'accord.
Je suis d'accord avec toi.
To establish peace and security for all mankind.
Mais attends, ce serait pas un jeu safe.
War between Mars and
SF?
Titan devastated our solar system.
Sans blague.
Lead the survivors to Demarat, where you will
Putain,
continue following frontiers
c'est un
storyline
RTS.
campaign in
Encore un.
orbit
Putain,
of
il y a que des RTS dans cette présentation.
C'est pas des RTS, c'est juste gestion. Ah ouais, ouais.
On l'a déjà vu, le trailer de Super People, putain. Bordel, ils l'ont déjà montré au Summer Game Fest, pourquoi vous recyclez vos trailers?
On gagne du temps.
Et on s'en fout, ça sert à rien. Autre chose. Franchement, tant que je vois pas du gameplay, je peux pas être hypé. Genre, ok, ça a l'air d'être rigolo, mais j'ai pas vu de gameplay. Alors ouais, ça a l'air d'être marrant, hein, mais... Pour l'instant, je sais même pas comment ça se joue, quoi. D'ailleurs, on a enfin eu du trailer de Redfall, tu sais, le jeu qui nous avait un peu hypé l'année dernière, le 3. Tu chasses des vampires avec des sorts et tout ça, là, en coop et tout. Je sais pas si tu t'en souviens. En gros, on a eu du gameplay et ça a l'air vraiment cool. Il y a 4 persos, chacun avec leur spécialisation.
Ah, sympa.
T'as un engineer avec des robots, t'en as un qui met des pièges.
You've made it here to a site of grace, or a bonfire, or a sculptor's idol, or a lamp. Make sure you're staying hydrated, replenish your potions, and most importantly, keep letting us know what games you're excited about using hashtag #PCGamingShow. I mean, personally, I can't wait to play The Altars. Ah, good. Now, we're all rested up, feeling good. It's time to enjoy a slice of that lovely cyberpunk life, courtesy of Nivalis, and experience the investigative horror of immortality. The latest from the mind of Sam Barlow.
J'ai cru que ça allait être la fin. Mais non, évidemment, fallait que ça continue. Ça fait 1 heure là. On y est. Ah, c'est ça, de le FMV dont je te parlais.
Ah.
Au Tribeca Festival qu'on a vu.
work as confession?
To work.
That's fabulous. Now it's worth more. Did you ever read his diary?
Le concept rigolo, mais clairement je compte pas y jouer quoi.
Non, ça me hype pas.
Ouais, Cyberpunk en version.
Hey boss, time to wake up. We got customers waiting. What do you mean you don't know where to start? Let's clean this place up. Move some chairs and tables around. We can make this place shine again. If the weather gets bad, we can grow some veg in the greenhouse. Once we start making real money, well, then you can rent that fancy new apartment in Midtown. So make friends, make enemies. If customers are rude, just turn on the old charm. Or water down their drinks. I'm not your conscience. This is a world to explore, to make stories, your stories. You ever look up at the clouds and wonder what's up there? Well, if you dream big enough, maybe you'll find out.
Et encore un jeu qui utilise de la pluie pour te montrer à quel point ces graphismes sont bien. S'appelle Nivalis.
Hi, I'm Marco. And I'm Roman. At Ironlands, we are big fans of cyberpunk fiction and games. But we have our own ideas of what a cyberpunk world can be.
Mais bon, mais monsieur, tu sais très bien que... que j'ai rien à dire en fait.
Mais oui, qu'est-ce que tu racontes?
Or maybe you just want to take the day off and go fishing at the docks instead. Nivalis primarily uses voxel art for the environments. We spend lots of time creating a unique atmosphere with high levels of detail and dynamic
ta gueule que tu comprends pas si tu devrais l'ouvrir. Tu ne poses pas la question de te dire attends, est-ce que j'ai vraiment un propos quoi? D'accord. Arrêtez avec la pub.
J'ai vu gagner 500 € avec la 4 Razor.
C'est pas le même truc, mais c'est pas grave.
Just sync your favorite games to your Mana account and start earning real-life rewards the next time you play. So why pay any other way? Pay with Mana. Pay with power. Mana. Game the system.
Ouais.
Get ready to overclock your eyeballs, because this next trailer is coming in hotter than my computer with 3 Chrome tabs open.
C'est rigolo ça comme blague.
Mais oui, ce n'est pas une blague. C'est la vérité.
Yes, it's like a good game. Microsoft. Oh, c'est un tactical RPG avec du narratif.
C'est sympa.
Ça me donne envie, ça. comme des fans des Persona et des Fire Emblem. Demon School. Le nom est un peu claqué, mais c'est pas grave, il a l'air rigolo.
You just saw Demon School from Welsh developer Isbrid Games. And now, it's time to take a bit of a spooky transition. If you're at home, turn on all the lights in the room, make sure the salt circle is unbroken, and check to see that your door is properly painted with sacrificial lamb's blood, because things are about to get certifiably terrifying. Let's look at the H.R. Giger-inspired biopunk horror, Scorn.
Desolate.
Mais ça aussi, on l'a déjà vu.
A grisly nightmare.
Au Xbox Bethesda. Putain.
I'm your host.
Bon, c'est un trailer différent quand même. Mais...
And I invite you to join me as we explore Scorn's mesmerizing labyrinth of art forms and somber tapestries.
Genre du FPS horrifique dans un univers, on dirait du Cronenberg.
Filled with biomechanical contraptions, part flesh, part machine. An industrial civilization, now lying in decay and ruin. A hidden fauna sleeps within the underbelly of the world, wanting nothing more than to be left undisturbed. Scorn has been carefully crafted with great attention to detail. Everything is focused on building a specific atmosphere. From a unique organic ecosystem to an unsettling soundscape created by Ethek and Lustmord. Scorn has no dialogue, so most of the storytelling comes from the environment. Discovering the ever-present symbiotic relationships and how things are connected equips you with the tools to progress. While there is shooting within the game, Scorn is not a shooter. Every encounter must be carefully considered. A wrong choice could be deadly. I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the twisted world of Scorn. The team at Ebb Software can't wait for you to uncover the secrets of this unique world as you experience Scorn firsthand this October. Are you prepared to unravel your inner self within Scorn's world of horror?
Now, while I've been delightedly playing Doom Spice Wars, harvesting melange, and trying to figure out how to pronounce Quisatz Haderach, it doesn't matter. I'm equally ready to turn hordes of Tyranids into a Jackson Pollock painting in Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. In this brutal third-person shooter, you once again step into the oversized power armor of Titus, an elite Primaris Space Marine.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais, Arthur? J'entends ta souris et j'entends un vieux grisement dégueulasse. Qu'est-ce que t'es en train de faire?
I am joined by Tim Willits and Oliver Hollis, the creative director, on Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for having us. Good to be here.
Now, Tim, I want to start with you. You previously worked at id Software on Doom. How would you say the Space Marine compares to Doom Guy?
That is a good question. I bet many people did not know that the original Doom Guy was actually a Space Marine, inspired by an even older Space Marine, which is the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines. So, you know, it's really exciting for me to work on Space Marine 2, you know, because it's a great franchise, and I know that it's inspired so many other video games throughout the last 25, 30 years.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so much lore to sift through. And I think this brings us to talk a little bit about the new Space Marine that you're going to get to play, a Primaris Space Marine. Oliver, talk to us a little bit about Captain Titus and what makes this class of Space Marine different from the others in the universe.
So the Space Marine is a brainchild of the Emperor, the kind of leader of this of humanity in the grim dark future. He saw the dangers that the universe presented, and he created a super soldier from his own DNA. And each of these different factions, these different chapters, have different genetic traits of the Emperor. But what makes the Primaris different is that a guy named Belisarius Cawl, the Emperor's kind of chief scientist, went back, did some digging in the old data, and found a way to enhance the qualities that a Space Marine has by installing new devices, new kind of bio implants in their body. So now these guys are 2.5 meter tall monsters capable of destroying anything in their path.
It's reminding me of the 1,000 times I have rewatched the Astartes animation.
That's amazing.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting that we now get to be in that position to play that kind of character. And in the trailer, we saw a lot of Tyranids. Are they the main enemy that you're going to be against? And if so, what makes them such a compelling foe?
In this particular game, the Tyranids are the main focus, and what makes them compelling is that they are extragalactic locust-like creatures. They've come in from goodness knows where. They spread like wildfire. They devour everything in their path, and they leave nothing in their wake.
So one of the great things about the Tyranids is they come in the thousands, and our proprietary engine, the Saber Swarm engine, can deliver these epic battles. Now we will have thousands of Tyranids, and you will rip and tear through them all.
I mean, that is so thrilling, because this is the sort of thing that older games couldn't even hope to do. And you're talking a little bit about combat. I know that some of the previous entries were more melee focused. What's the combat like in Space Marine 2?
So the combat in Space Marine 2 is a mix of in-your-face melee combat along with some really cool over-the-top weapons. So, we looked at, the original Space Marine game where it had a lot of this push-forward combat, which has inspired many other video games, but that never stop, never take cover combat is integral to Space Marine 2, along with these really cool, powerful weapons. So you're either tearing up the enemies in front of you, or you're blowing them away from the back of the battlefield. It's the best of both worlds.
I mean, that sounds so terrific. And I know you guys are huge fans of the 40K lore, so I'm curious about, in working on this project, what's been the most fun seeing come together? I mean, what's Saber Interactive focusing on right now?
Right at the beginning of the project, Tim and I went to the Warhammer Museum, which was an incredible experience. And you go around all these cabinets where these incredible miniatures that have been painted by these masters are arranged in these dioramas. You find yourself kind of crouching down and looking into the ranks of Space Marines that are facing Tyranids or Orcs or whatever. And something that Tim and I said at that moment was, we need to make this come alive. I don't want to look at this. I want to be inside this. I want to be gunning down Tyranids by the thousands. And so seeing that actually happen and come alive has been thrilling.
Am I going to feel like the characters in the Astartes animation? Because if so, then I'm buying the game immediately.
Even more so, when you're wielding one of those massive weapons and you're faced with 1,000 Tyranids who all want to eat you alive, and you're just let rip and you can see shell casings bursting out of these massive weapons one after another. The sound, the gameplay, the way it feels is all designed to make you feel like the most powerful warrior in the universe.
Well, perfect. That answers everything. Thank you so much, Tim and Oliver from Saber Interactive, for joining us. I can't wait. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S soon. Now, next, we have a few more surprises for you up the sleeves of our proverbial power armor. First, Replicant D6's homage to the golden days, or should I say, golden eyes of 90s console shooters, and an atmospheric sci-fi adventure on the Red Planet from Frontier Developments and Kyoken Interactive. Let's take a look.
C'est un peu hommage à GoldenEye sur... Oh, tu peux même faire des levels. On rêver de faire des niveaux de GoldenEye. Ah, je m'en souviens.
Sarah? Ryan? This is Kathy. Can you hear me? Please come in.
Mission Opera has only one objective. Bring the Arcs and their revolutionary technology back home.
Je pense pas que c'est encore un jeu d'horreur dans l'espace. Pitié, ça suffit.
I need to know that when we get there, you'll make the right decisions. We can do this. What do you expect to find on Mars?
Mars. Ok. Pour l'instant, je vais mettre jeu d'exploration parce que je sais pas ce que c'est.
Ça a l'air trop saoulé de ouf.
Hi, my name's Elise Chappell, and I play Kathy Johansson in the out-of-this-world sci-fi epic Deliver Mars. Join Kathy and the crew of the Zephyr on an unmissable adventure as they journey to the Red Planet to recover technology vital to the survival of Earth and humankind.
C'est pour ça qu'il n'y a aucun jeu dans la liste auquel je vais
Mars
jouer.
is set to land on September 27th and is available to pre-order now on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and the Epic Games Store.
Stay a while and listen. To this list of games still to come, the team behind Half-Life Alyx Levitation will put their mod where their mouth is, and then it's paradox time. Not as in us creating an actual time paradox, we're going to show you the latest from Victoria 3. Plus, you can literally scare your entire butt off with the creeping horror of Gloomwood. All this and more in just a moment, but first, a final pop quiz for all you Valorant, CSGO and League of Legends players. How much has esports revenue increased since 2016? Compass Data Centers wants to hear your guess, and you can scan this QR code on the screen for a chance to win a $500 Razer gift card. Visit gaming.compassdatacenters.com to enter. Alright, and now, back to the show.
Up next, we're going to take a look at Stormgate, the highly anticipated real-time strategy game from Frost Giant. Then, our resident RTS addict is going to sit down with some of the game developers to ask the hard-hitting questions like, when can we play this already?
Déjà vu ça au Summer Game Fest. Le StarCraft 4 là. Stormgate.
2 years ago, our team assembled with a shared vision to build a brand new real-time strategy game. Together, we've been fortunate to work on some of the greatest RTS games of all time, and now we have a chance to do it again by creating the next evolution of that legacy. Today, we are so excited to share a first glimpse of Stormgate, an exclusive sneak peek into the universe and game that we've been creating for you. Stormgate takes place in an all-new post-apocalyptic setting where science fiction and fantasy collide. Our story begins hundreds of years in Earth's future, following the near extinction of humanity. This great calamity was caused by the Infernal Host, a playable alien race of demonic invaders that are hell-bent on claiming this planet as their own.
Bon, la conférence c'est pas mauvaise, mais après Xbox Bethesda,
game universe, told through an ongoing series of campaign missions that you can play solo or cooperatively. New chapters will come out regularly, along with new units, maps, modes.
Parce que vraiment, Xbox Bethesda, j'étais en mode.
In addition to campaign missions, we're building a world-class competitive experience with grassroots and professional tournaments accessible from directly within the game.
Ils veulent vraiment faire StarCraft 3.
There will be different
Ils sont en
leagues
train de dire
suitable
ouais, on
for
veut
all
même
levels
l'inclure
of
dans l'e-sport et
experience.
tout.
In our new 3-player co-op versus AI mode, you'll level up your heroes, collect rewards, and customize your forces to open up new styles of gameplay and long-term variety.
Ah, on peut jouer en coop, l'histoire.
Stormgate will be free to play, but not pay to win, and there will be no NFTs.
Non, ce sera pas
Beta
pay to
testing
win,
starts
il y aura
next
pas
year,
de
and
NFT.
you can sign up
Je suis obligé
now
d'augmenter
to
le son,
reserve
mais
your place in
quasiment, il
line at
augmente.
playstormgate.com.
T'entends plus.
You might happen to know that I'm a huge fan of real-time strategy games. StarCraft is my favorite game. I've played it for 25 years. I still play it, and that's why I am so thrilled today to be talking to Frost Giant Studios. They're a group of amazing developers who have worked on literally my favorite games of all time. And we're here to talk about their brand new, free-to-play, real-time strategy game set in a post-apocalyptic Earth.
Est-ce que c'est beau comme ça?
Stormgate. And here to talk about it is the CEO and production director at Frost Giant, Tim Morton. Thanks for joining us, Tim.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
I want to know about the world. I want to know about the game.
Quand t'arrêtes de parler
Tell
pendant
us
une
what
longue
is
durée, ça
Stormgate.
fait ça.
All right, this is our first game as a new studio. And it is classic real-time strategy, but designed to be more social. We build the game in a universe that ties everything together, but provide different kinds of experiences for players who like different kinds of gameplay. So we've got cooperative campaign mode, also play open-ended co-op, but if you're somebody who really enjoys competition, we've got 1 versus 1, high skill, competitive. And those are very different ways to play in some ways, but they're also all unified by the universe, by the races,
là, c'est
by the
bon.
units. So
Je suis en train de
really
faire des trucs. Hein.
get a sense for how to enjoy the game.
And I'm curious a little bit about that core gameplay, because obviously in all these modes you're going to be collecting money, building bases, building units, and so on. And I know that for you, the game feeling really good and really smooth to play is super important. Now, obviously, I come from a time where if the pathfinding is bad, we call that high skill opportunity. But I mean, how do you think about getting the controls, the motions, just the feel of the game to feel good in 2022?
Yeah, it's interesting that RTS
De toute façon, je reste. Je reste jusqu'à 23h après, j'arrête. Là, il est 22h57.
Synchronized over the network and responsive in a way that high skill, like pro esports players feel good about playing. That's not easy. It does.
C'est vraiment une redite, hein. C'est n'importe quoi, genre.
There's no engine that you buy off the
J'ai
shelf
l'impression de
that
perdre
does
du
that
temps
for you.
là,
So we
c'est trop chiant.
definitely started
De quoi t'as l'impression que t'as le temps quand tu peux partir? Moi je suis en costume, je pars pas moi.
Our chief architect James Anhalt, who did that work previously on StarCraft 2.
Parce que maintenant que j'ai commencé, il faut que je finisse ma VOD. Quoi.
And this is going to be one of the first major RTSs people are aware of that is on Unreal Engine 5. What is it like working in this next generation engine?
Comme j'ai dit, hein, vraiment, je sais que j'arrête pas de le répéter. Après être sorti d'Xbox Bethesda, t'as envie de mourir un peu là. Parce que les seuls trucs AAA, c'est que des trucs qui ont déjà été annoncés, après c'est que de l'indé. C'est toujours cool, hein, mais t'es pas obligé d'en faire un truc qui dure 2 heures, quoi.
Mais plus de 2 heures, mais 4 heures, quoi.
Non, là ça fait 1 heure et demie.
StarCraft, real-time strategy has this
Bon allez, moi je vais y aller, je vais te laisser live tranquille en vrai. Je te dis bonne nuit mec.
Dites bonne nuit dans le chat. Merci à personne.
Merci à personne. Allez.
Bisous. More seamless integration with esports. I mean, being able to sign up, participate in tournaments directly from the client in a way that gives players, even if you're not like top grandmaster, ready to take on Cyril, there's still an opportunity to be the best on your block or the best at your company or the best at your schools. So we want to facilitate esports all the way from grassroots level up to the pro level directly in the client.
So, of course, in the history of RTS games, a really important component of them has always been mods. I mean, Warcraft 3, there's players that didn't even play the original game. They just did custom mode after custom mode. Does Stormgate have modding? How are you thinking about the modding community?
A number of members of the Frost Giant team actually came out of the modding community. The team as a whole is very passionate about it. From the outset, we started out applying resources to build a custom editor. I think there's a lot of opportunity to make improvements to the editing experience for RTS. We are also working on the infrastructure for people to be able to share their mods with each other. So it's really core to us as a team to enable modding, and we're absolutely working on it.
And of course, we have to end with my favorite question of all. When can we play the game and how do we play it, Tim?
So we are going to start our beta in 2023. We already have a site stood up at playstormgate.com to be able to register for the beta. We have a lot of active discussion topics on our subreddit as well, so there's an opportunity to participate in the dialogue around what we're building.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us again today. We just got a chance to talk about Stormgate, the upcoming free-to-play RTS from Frost Giant Studios. I'm personally super pumped to play it, and be sure to check it out at playstormgate.com. Now, Tim, I'm going to do a transition to the next game. Are you ready? It's going to be good. Watch this. It's going to be so sick. Next, we're going to show you Leysara, Summit Kingdom from Quite OK Games. Now, as someone who has spent a medically inadvisable amount of time playing strategy games of all sorts, this looks incredibly up my alley. And it looks a lot safer than my last attempt to create society in the mountains. 2 words, Tim, yodeling accident. Let's check it out.
Tim, il a envie de mourir. Tim, il est en mode, pourquoi je pouvais pas partir? Ah! Leysara Summit Kingdom. Encore un RTS. Oh non, c'est un jeu de gestion plutôt. C'est grave par contre, hein. Ils font que ça des jeux de gestion. C'était quoi le nom du jeu déjà? Merde, j'ai oublié, putain. C'est Leysara quelque chose qui me donne. Ouais, je vais attendre à la fin, il y aura peut-être une carte à la fin. En gros, tu dois créer un truc sur une montagne, il faut faire attention aux avalanches. Leysara Summit. Leysara. Ok. Remarque que dans ce genre de jeu indé, c'est tout le temps les mêmes animations de marche. Son design, il a l'air d'être très travaillé. Ah, c'est pas très grave quand t'es une petite équipe, quoi. Je pense que c'est juste que leur trailer est pas super bien ficelé et que la musique est vraiment trop forte par rapport au son du jeu. Frozen Flame passe.
That was Frozen Flame, an open-world survival RPG from Dreamside Interactive, where you'll embark on a fantasy adventure in a world reshaped by a magical calamity. A cursed land full of environmental hazards and massive monsters doesn't sound like the kind of place you'd want to build a cozy home with your friends, but instead you'll be raising fortresses and trying to tame the world, eventually growing tough enough to tackle the citadel that looms over everything and break the curse. Or you'll end up in the belly of a monster. Still kind of cozy. The demo for Frozen Flame was released just before the show, so you can jump in or grab some co-op buddies and see how long you can survive for right now. And keep an eye out for the early access launch later this year.
Uh-oh.
If you could listen to the noise of history, then you would hear by the sounds of the Victorian age that the world changed forever. The roar of the engines, the bangs from new factories, and the cries in the streets calling out for revolution. In Victoria 3, we simulate this era, 100 years starting in 1836. And put you in charge of a young society. You will meet the people back then, high and low, over cultures across the globe. They are the beating heart of your nation and form powerful groups with needs and desires. Listen to their calls and let it influence reform, or turn a deaf ear to protect what is proven and stable. Your politics will decide where you want to go, but your economy, how far you'll come. Taxes, production, trade, and construction. Play these cards right, and you can harness the Industrial Revolution to turn your cities into titans. This is the engine you will need on the global stage. Use pacts, threats, and bluffs to secure your place in the sun. Anything done by war can be achieved with diplomacy. But you can decide when push comes to shove. Here you write the stories, and over time, the history of your world will be carved into the map. What will your society be like? What is the sound that will echo over continents and be heard over the noise of time as you create your grand tomorrow?
That was the gameplay debut of Victoria 3 from Paradox Interactive, a grand strategy game coming later this year. And let us take this moment to let you know you can wish us Victoria 3 by visiting the PC Gaming Show event page on Steam, where you'll be able to find every game featured in today's show. Type pcgamer.com/wishlist into your browser.
C'est pas une mauvaise conférence en soi, mais elle est trop longue pour ce qu'ils ont à montrer, quoi. Ah, New Blood, il faudrait être con. C'est un nouveau jeu annoncé, c'est ça? Fallen Ages était très drôle.
What's up, PC gamers? We're back again. Now, what you just saw was everything New Blood's got going on for 2022. A Medieval to Black Labyrinth, Ultra Kill Act 2, Faith, Fallen Aces, and a brand new update for Dusk that's bringing all new HD models and weapons that nobody asked for. So we're doing it anyway. Now, last year you might have noticed we teased a bunch of games here that we weren't ready to talk about just yet. And we're still not ready to talk about those games. But I want to let you know that yes, we're still working on a top-down shooter. Yes, we're still working on a Fallout-style RPG, my dream game. And yes, we're still working on a car combat game. But we're not ready to talk about those games just yet. What I want to talk about is Gloomwood. Now, 2 years ago, y'all straight up forgot to show the Gloomwood trailer. Last year, you bumped me so Gabe Newell could talk about a bunch of demos or some shit. This year, PC Gamer, you promised we would get to show Gloomwood, so I don't want to hear any bullshit. If you're on a Steam Deck ad right now or some shit, I'm gonna...
Steam Deck. Powerful, portable, PC gaming.
PC Gamer, you see this puppy? I will drown this puppy. I will, if you don't let us show Gloomwood, I am going to drown this adorable, I would never do that. Hi, I love you. So yeah, we good?
Merci,
no?
Esse.
Can we show Gloomwood? Are you sure? Well, all right. It's about time.
Ok, au moins ça c'était rigolo. Petite interlude rigolo.
Hello, Doctor. I had hoped for us to meet at my estate. No matter. I can guarantee your safe arrival. I promise few others here can.
Un survival horror.
Townsfolk are not fond of outsiders. Don't delay.
L'interactivité, bref. Le décor est très interactif, c'est cool. Early access, c'est très bientôt.
There's only one thing I like more than playing New Bloods games, and that's probably the URLs they make for them. It wouldn't be a PC gaming show without the silliest, most ridiculous website names in human history. Which is why I'm delighted to share that next, we have a group of such games that run the gamut from medieval mayhem to an adorable animal fight club. And our first rule, we absolutely plan to talk about it.
Ils sont toujours live Alix. Ça veut dire qu'on est toujours pas sorti de l'auberge. Ça veut dire que je vais vite me tirer une balle parce que ça va être au moins 2 heures. Putain, on est parti pour un show de 2 heures.
Corrupted what? Why is it always doing this just when I need to showcase the game? Okay, I'm gonna take that. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Yes, I have.
The update to System 10.1.1 will provide a clean sorting of all your files and ensure that situations like this won't ever happen.
Oh, no, nobody's updating me. That's the thing. Nope, haha, thank you, but we'll pass. Okay, so I do have a backup of the trailer. While I go rummage into the bin for it, please welcome my personal assistant. That will do a great job at pitching the game for you. Talk about how cool I am in the story and how funny and witty. You know, just talk about me. Found it. Ah, ladies and gentlemen, the trailer. Okay, who had the amazing idea to save the trailer backup in 14.4 pixels? Do we have any ants working for us?
C'est original. Pourquoi pas. J'ai l'impression que c'est un puzzle game.
The survival of thy noble family depends on their ability to rule the city, to fight with valor, and to learn. Oh, if only it were that easy.
Oh, ils font le sexe. Oh, il a tué le mec. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce jeu? À l'aide?
Norland.
I don't know what you're up to, fuzzball, but back off!
Ah, Them Fighting Herd. En vrai, ça avait l'air très cool, je l'ai vu à Combo Breaker, c'était sûr, ça avait l'air trop marrant. Un jeu de combat de fleurie, mais ça a l'air rigolo quand même. Oh la référence à Akuma quoi. Them fighting hurts. La description que j'ai donnée, ça va pas donner envie au monde. Alors qu'on va se rater. Oh wow, Realm of the Mad God. J'ai fait un peu un connard sur ça. Je pensais quand même à Realm of the Mad God en plus détaillé. Bah non, c'est Core Keeper, bien sûr. Bon, pourquoi j'ai pas... Genre, j'ai pas joué au jeu, mais j'ai déjà regardé pas mal de vidéos dessus. En fait, je suis atomisé. Pourquoi j'ai pas...
latest DLC for Core Keeper, the sandbox survival sim from Fireshine Games and Pugstorm. The Sunken Sea biome update is available on June 15th for all Core Keeper players. Now we have even more twists and turns and trailers, so press enter to continue. Did you press it? I'm gonna go ahead and assume you pressed it. No, but seriously, press it.
No.
No, I don't think I will.
It can be harsh everywhere. But in the old world, there was no hope of it ever improving. When our crops failed, the ruling class would still collect the same share, leaving our children to starve. And if we had any coin to our name, the taxman would appear, demanding you for the crown. The nobles hid behind the safety of their walls and did nothing when raiders pillaged the outskirts of the city. And so, some of us decided that it was time to leave, that we'd rather take our chances in the wilderness, seeking the promise of a new land, than starve to death in our homeland. The journey wasn't easy. We lost many along the way. This wild, unsettled land offers us the hope of a new start as the masters of our own destiny.
Harvest Frontier. Pourquoi du coup j'ai pas tout bien compris.
On n'a toujours pas vu Half-Life Alyx. Ça veut dire que c'est toujours pas terminé. Excellent, terminé.
What is below is destined to be understood. Our life depends on the whims of the weather. Our life is tied to this earth.
The water we harvest, the plants we grow, the air we filter. Any waste would be fatal to our survival.
We must learn to live in harmony with this world. For too long, we have wandered without purpose. From now on, our city will be a source of hope.
Le doublage est terrible. Enfin, il est pas particulièrement mauvais, c'est juste qu'en fait, ils lisent leurs... Ils y mettent pas d'envie, en fait. Je pense qu'il n'y avait pas de budget et que c'est l'équipe qui a doublé, ça je connais, j'ai dû le faire moi-même pour un de mes projets. Mais t'essayes de mettre un effort dans ce que tu... Parce qu'en fait, quand vous l'entendez, ça s'entend qu'ils ont le script en face des yeux et qu'ils sont en train de lire. Ils parlent trop vite, leurs intonations elles sont pas là. Ils sont juste en train d'expliquer des trucs en fait. Energy, c'est un jeu de gestion encore. Hein. J'espère que les gens qui aiment bien la gestion, ils sont contents parce que là, ils sont servis. Hein. Putain.
Welcome to Icarus, Prospector. The planet we almost lost, then found a reason.
Oh, ça y va. Encore un survival, horror, dans la sci-fi.
Take it from me. This place wants you dead. But we've made progress. Learned the lay of the land.
Ça va, ça a pas l'air d'être non plus.
How to use Icarus to our advantage. Our friends at the UDA are offering up a slice.
Encore un survival,
if you learn, build, and survive, maybe, just maybe, there's a future here. Think you got what it takes?
Oh, le gros monstre, il arrive. Ah, d'accord.
In the rich tapestry of the PC gaming community, modders are one of the most inspiring subcultures. In fact, some of the most popular genres today started with PC gaming mods. Right now, modders Sean FMP1 Snelling and Corey Latto are making something incredibly special in the form of an ambitious mod for Half-Life Alyx. It's called Levitation. It's an original 4 to 5 hour campaign that builds on Valve's original VR game, Half-Life Alyx. With Alyx searching for a pair of rebels gone rogue, they've discovered a strange floating building in Sector X and decided to investigate it, against orders, obviously, and now it's your turn. Let's go back to the world of Gordon, G-Man, and Alyx with this exclusive gameplay footage.
Alyx, according to this old Resistance map, there's a control room somewhere outside the building you're in. Sorry if that's vague, the map was drawn using somebody's blood. Alyx, I'm detecting an incredibly large energy signature up ahead. It's probably Gordon Freeman, and not anything bad at all. Definitely, probably Gordon Freeman.
Okay, so the plan is to get to that control room and get Gordon.
Oh boy.
Oh, le G-Man. Wake up, Gordon. I fucked your mom.
crowded down here, Russ.
Non, je vois pas pour le coup. Hein. Ça a de la gueule, hein. L'environnement de chantier, j'aime bien, c'est cool. C'est assez basique et pas très recherché en termes de design, mais en termes de level design, c'est plus intéressant. Parce que du coup, c'est sur beaucoup d'étages et tout ça. Enfin, là, il y a beaucoup à faire avec. Oh, les chiottes.
Oh, nice.
Merci Alix. Yeah.
Three cells left. Oh boy.
Okay.
Well, folks, this is the end. We've learned a lot today about ourselves, about computers, about genetically engineered space marines. And with so many games on the way, there has truly never been a better time to be part of the PC gaming community.
Over the course of the last 2 hours, we saw games from developers all over the world, and we wanted to thank everyone who tuned in to watch the show. All the developers who shared their work with us, and of course, all of the partners for their help.
En soi, c'était intéressant, mais c'était très tiré en longueur. Surtout après avoir pris une baffe.
And tell me if you know where to find a 3090 Ti. Tell me immediately. Anywhere you can find one, let me know. And of course, a warm thanks to you again for joining us at this year's PC Gaming Show. It's something I look forward to every
J'aime même parce qu'ils font des blagues sur le fait de pas pouvoir trouver des cartes graphiques, mais 100% ils ont les PC les PC les plus puissants possibles ATM genre. Bon, on va rater le record.